Good afternoon and thanks for joining us for Living Local, your lifestyle show for everything Charleston and beyond. I'm Ashley Meservey. So let's get real. All families are different and all come with their own unique spin on what life is all about. Family dynamics, believe it or not, can actually have quite an impact when it comes to a teen's search for the perfect school. Today, the folks at the College Planning Center want to help ease that tension as they help parents and their children prepare for the future. Joining us today, McCormick M.G. He is actually going to be a freshman at Clemson Honors College, correct? All right, first off, let's talk about how you came to College Planning Center.
So, when I started my sophomore year, I was just talking with my parents and starting to figure out that we probably did start to need to think about college. So, thankfully, I was fortunate. My parents kind of came to College Planning Center. We had looked around at a few college planners and eventually settled with Chris and Rob. And that's how I ended up here.
Okay, so you weren't having major issues with as far as the testing part because you, I'm gonna brag on them, finished first in your class, right?
Yes.
All right, so as far as what you needed, what are some of the things that you actually needed from the College Planning Center that you received when you got here?
So some of the things that I was really looking for was really trying to figure out how to look at college. I hadn't really...
Because I'm assuming you had so many options, right?
I did, but one of the challenges was coming with that. I'm kind of an adaptable person. I'd be happy in the city. I'd be happy, you know, more out in the country as far as college goes. So that was great because it meant that I had a lot of options, but it was also challenging because it meant I had a lot of options.
I know.
So one of the big things with College Planning Center was I was able to really take stock of all the places that I may be happy going, but also really look at maybe narrowing that field down into something that I could apply to. I applied to a good many colleges, but if I had applied to the initial list that I had, that would have been way too many essays to write, way too many applications. So that was one big resource I had here. And what you said about the test prep, although I did have pretty good scores, I did actually take advantage of some of the testing counseling that was here and did try to work towards bumping my score up just a little more. And so that was a great resource to have as well.
So some of the kids at school that maybe didn't take this step, what would you, I mean, did you notice that they were really stressed? Did they last minute? Anything like that you are like, whew, I'm glad I went to College Planning Center so I don't have to worry about that?
I definitely think that it was good to get some of those things out of the way early. Mainly for me, it was more of a mental preparedness thing. It was just making sure that I was aware that, you know, these steps were coming down the road. To start really thinking about applications, start thinking about essays. I should have gotten started on some of those things a little bit earlier than I ended up doing, but I still was ahead of the ball or really still on track for the whole process. And that was great because Chris and Rob would, you know, send me a message or say, hey, have you done this yet? Or,
so very interactive with them.
Yes, and they, through their system, they also have a checklist and they will put in, you know, to-do list things for me and I'll make sure that I get those done. And that way it was a good way for not just me, but my parents to also know where I was in the process and kind of get a good idea of what needed to be done, but also really be able to figure out what I did finish already. That was a good thing to be able to know that I had made progress. Exactly.
All right, real quick, your sister's actually about to start this process. Yes. What would be some advice you would give to her?
I think it's tough because it's so unique for each person. I think definitely look at as many colleges as you maybe even just would think about. You know, this seems interesting, go ahead and look into it. Because it's great to start with a really wide array of options and narrow it down, as opposed to maybe just starting narrow and ending narrow. And a lot of people, they have one college they want to go to and they go there and that's great.
Did you always want to go to Clemson?
I didn't have a #1 college.
Gotcha.
For most, when I was going into my junior and my senior year, you know, everybody's asking you, oh, well, what college do you want to go to? What college are you looking at? And I never really knew quite how to respond because I didn't have this golden college in mind. It all depended on, you know, what programs there were, where it was. There's all these different variables, and so no, I didn't always think about Clemson. I had it on my radar. But it was good that I kept it on my radar because it turned out to be a really great fit for me.
So overall, great experience.
Yes.
All right. Recommend it to the kids at home?
I would. It was really helpful. It's something that you have to work with in order to really help you. It's
But
not
they'll
just something you're
definitely
going to
help
plug
you
in.
here.
Yeah, you're not going to just plug into it and then you're going to spit out this best college for you.
Yeah.
You have to work towards it, and it's really just going to help magnify the work you put in.
All right. Well, of course, the first step is you can either come to their Mount Pleasant location and visit them here, or you can go online at collegeplanningscenters.com.